up, y'all? It's your girl, Nyasia Chane'l, with my girl here,
Mezzy.
And welcome to the Journey podcast show, where we have many different conversations with many different innovators, creators, entrepreneurs, etc. But today we have a special guest.
Ooh.
DWI.
Boom, baby.
For the whole world going. It's
we
the energy for me.
For you, by the way.
Yeah, we did.
It's the energy for me. Y'all practice that?
No.
You know what?
We did it. It's just here. It's just natural. You know, it's just a natural thing. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling extra great, actually.
Well, we love to hear it. All right.
I just got out. I just got up from outside. It was mad traffic. I'm in Connecticut, so it's mad traffic.
Oh,
ridiculous traffic.
Worse than New York?
It was a mall, so it's wherever the mall is. That's where the whole Connecticut is at right now. So.
Well, listen. Hang tight, okay? We're gonna be right back with a quick commercial break.
You're the only one I risk it all with. Got me feeling so brand new. He don't get me like you get me. Guess I'm too much to handle. I'm going all in for your love. Without it, I'd be in shambles. I swear my love life is scandal. Cause you take my body high. I'd risk it all tonight. Got me on this roller coaster with you, I'm my man, oh my. Cause baby, you know what to do, and you know everything I like. I know you're tired of the back and forth. We only got a few minutes.
Welcome back to the Journey podcast show with your girl, Nyasia Chane'l and
Mezzy D.
And we have our special guest today, DWI. Thank you guys. Thank you for so much for being here with us.
Okay. Yeah, where else would I rather be today but with y'all?
Oh, that
was do it like
we gotta make that a drop. We gotta make that a drop.
We gotta make that.
That was good.
That was good. Nobody's ever
said made us feel special.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with nobody, but I'm somebody, so let's go.
Hello. That's why you're here on the journey, because we want to highlight you
and your journey.
Okay, so let's start off here. Who are you?
DWI is an independent producer hailing from the Bronx, New York. 21 years in the game of podcasting, entrepreneurship, broadcasting, independent recording studio, producing. I do it all. Mentoring.
So 21 years ago. That's early 2000s, end of the 1990s. I'm about to say 1900s, yo. That's crazy. But it is the 1900s.
Yeah. I was
It is.
Like we're dead old.
The concept of my studio, DaMatrix Studios, came behind the movie DaMatrix, which was produced in 1999. So I started my studio not far after that. And now part 4 is about to drop this month. So it kind of makes sense. Next week, actually.
It was a great movie.
But what got you into this industry 21 years ago? There was no Instagram, no MySpace, nothing where people could just like, that was an industry where if you knew people, that's how you kind of got into it. So how did you get into?
So I knew people because my uncles were mixtape DJs in the neighborhood, and they was connected to other people that was connected to other people. I was connected to Swiss Beats, who lived across the street from me and used to come across the street and take my records to go work on his project he was working on with DMX at the time. So my neighborhood was connected to the industry. We had DJ Breakout, which he's from the Funky 4+1, which is one of the pioneer hip hop groups. So I used to see him riding around all the time. And then Jodeci used to hang out up the block when they came out. So I was familiar with the music game. But I got into it. When I got into it, it was more so because I had the passion of producing, and then I got the passion of engineering, and then I was working with my group at the time called Route One, which is a group that I put together from a collection of artists, singers, and rappers from the neighborhood, and we went on to go and do showcases and tour around New York City in the early 2000s. So I got a chance to, you know, see what the game was looking like at that time. And then I started doing radio with Jess Atkinson from Urban Threshold. And that's when I started meeting all the celebrities, and we started doing the award shows, and it just started to grow from there. So, but he's the first one that I did his radio show the first. He inquired online about, do I think I can produce a radio show? And I took the offer, and that's how it came about. So shout out to Jesse Just. He's the founder of DWI.
Yeah,
wow.
shout out to you for
That's a
real,
big
for
deal.
real. So you've been going through it, like
Yeah.
you've been in the mix.
Mhm.
So like, has there been any, you know, as on your journey of 21 years, of course you've gone
Which is,
through-
by the way, how old she is. I want to, I'm sorry. She's
Wow.
20. That's your whole journey right here. This is
Really?
She-
I'm dead. I'm
you
sorry.
know,
I didn't mean to interject. Go ahead. sis.
no,
You're a
no,
good queen. Go ahead, baby.
You know
Go,
what?
go, go.
You been making it seem like we far. We ain't far.
We're not gonna.
We're
We're
not
not
gonna do
gonna.
this here. We're not gonna do this
Okay.
here. But this is about you. You know,
Okay.
We're here
Let's
about.
let's keep the focus on me now.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're gonna keep the focus
Focus.
on you. So like I was saying, so what have you faced, you know, with going in to so many different directions, like to where you
Before
are.
even MySpace and stuff.
Like
So
how did
prior to even social media, I had to deal with just my neighborhood affiliates and us working together and having one mind, but then having like several different entities that had their own ideas and wrangling all of those individual people together to come up with a collection. I think I did like 3 projects that I recorded, produced, and engineered a lot of it. So that I got that experience under my belt as an engineer and a producer. And then just experiences of just traveling and going to different spots. And then we wasn't just local. We would go to Boston. We would go to, we would go to upstate New York, up around your area. We performed up there a few times at that theater up there, the Chance Theater. We've done a lot of things at that time. And I just was like, I got the experience without knowing, like, because normally we get in the industry, you got a manager, you got a, PR and all that. We didn't have none of that. We was everything.
you was in the street?
Wow.
You
Right.
had to do street promotion.
And it was a street promotion, burning CDs, making physical flyers, business
I don't
cards.
think we really understand. Like, I think we're so this generation is so what do I say? So spoiled with how
Yeah,
they
they want
get
things
music.
fast. Yeah.
Because I remember when I used to have to burn CDs, had the MP3 player, had to download it off a line. Oh shoot, I shouldn't say that. But I had
Right.
to download it over the.
Everybody downloaded over LimeWire. It's legal.
Yeah. But it's the beauty though, because you were able to, always keep in touch with the music and stuff like that. So that's cool that you got it started like that. And I've been on your show, I've been using your
Yeah, we're actually streaming right now from the DaMatrix.
Yeah, we are. They should catch on to it right now.
That was a Jay Ditta. Oh, because we gotta get into Jay Ditta too as well. He's coming up in the chapter. Jay Ditta, I started working with Jay Ditta. He was one of the first artists to buy beats from me. Like, so he would come to my studio, use the studio, and then purchase beats. And I'm talking about $1,500, $1,000, $500. Like, Jay Ditta was my first client of selling production.
I need to hear the song that he recorded with your beat.
Yeah.
Now I'm holding him
I
to
heard
that.
some of Ditta's work.
I need to hear that. No, but so what was that point early on
Yes,
that
baby.
made you feel like, what was that like? Maybe it was a concert or what, like you sold CDs. What was that point or that moment where you felt like I'm in the right place? I'm doing the right thing. I'm in the right industry kind of thing.
All right, so there was a event. Well, there's a lot of them, man. We did a lot of underground music awards that I was just like, I was in the industry. Nah, all right. So what made me feel I was in the industry was when Remy Ma came to my apartment to do an interview back when Lean Back was on. So I had my first apartment was in my studio. I mean, my first studio was in my apartment. So I said that backwards. So Remy Ma, we was trying to book her for a performance at an event. So we got her to come through to the studio to to do an interview. Go ahead. So she came through, and it was just dope. Like I'm like Remy Ma's in my apartment studio, like doing her interview. So DaMatrix Studios, a lot of people remember it from being on 235th Street and White Plains Road, because that's where I used to live on the first floor. And a lot of people came to that spot. Graph, there's a lot of artists that's out right now that came there and didn't even know what anything was, because it wasn't internet radio. It was pirate radio for the FM before I was internet radio.
Now, which do you like better?
What do I like better? I like the internet better because the internet allows me to reach a lot of people without get the maximum exposure with minimum movement. I don't have to move around as much.
And for those that don't know, pirate radio was the underground radio for mainstream. So you can have like a community radio station and have an antenna up. You can only broadcast to like local areas. So it'd be like a 3 to 5 square mile radius, but it was still cool because independent artists used to be able to drive up to the studio and then at least drive away home and hear themselves on the radio. So it was dope. Like just that feeling to be able to say Hot 97 was here and 91.9 was there, and people used to hear it all over the place.
So what do you feel like your why is, of why you do what you do? What drives you? Like what?
My why is because I have a purpose to connect people. I realize it's not so much about my skill set as being an engineer. It's more about the platform, as you've been a witness of having the studio, and then several different people that are paying for a service and by other people that may be paying them for a service. And then all these people get together in the platform and then meet each other and then build from there.
Definitely.
So I used to give the studio the credit, like, oh yeah, I'm this producer that's doing all this, but I'm like, really, I'm the curator of a space that allows people to get together and meet, with the studio being a backdrop of that.
I mean, being in something for 21 years, even being in a marriage for 21 years, right? That takes work. And it's like, and obviously COVID and everything, like what is keeping you going? Like, what is the one thing that you're like, yo, this is like, ultimately, this is what I want. I'm working all this to create this, or.
So it's funny you mentioned COVID, because COVID was the first time that I ever had time to take a break. When I caught COVID in October 31st of 2020, I had to sit down for the 2 weeks plus like maybe like 2 more weeks after that just to get my head back right, because I had it so bad, and I had lost so much time. And it was during the winter time, so it was dreary outside. So it wasn't like it was the summertime where I could go to the beach and kind of, sweat it out like some people was doing. Like I had to just be in the rainy ass, boring hotel room in Queens for 2 weeks. And that was not fun, being locked away from humans and everybody else for like an animal. And then when I came home, then I had to try to get myself back together. So that was the first time. What was the second part of the question?
What do you see like your big, like, wow, now you made me forget the damn question. You put me on the spot. No, but what are you doing for 21 years? What is
how did I keep going? So I was able to keep going because when I stopped and I started like doing delivery jobs and all that, like during COVID, during that whole year. So we was up on 43rd Street and Broadway. We got down there in November 2019 when we left the other spot. And when COVID came and shut everything down there in March, we had to leave that spot. So it was nothing else going on. I was doing interviews and all that like over the internet via Zoom from my dad's house. And then that happened. That kept me going, at least feeling the vibe. I took everything out of the studio from downtown and put it in my pop's apartment and turned his whole house into like a studio. His 1 bedroom, I converted it into, the bed was over there, but you didn't see the bed, but then everything else was like, just like you would see it on when you come to the studio. And he was in the hospital. Eventually he passed away July 3rd that year. So that was, that year was just crazy. It was just a whole roller coaster of a year. But I say all that to say, and I still had the passion to interview people and try to help artists in the studio. I didn't have a studio, but I would send artists to this other studio. I was booking studio time because I still had clients that was calling me. So I found that even when I stopped doing it, like it still was in me. Like it was hard to just stop something that you've been doing for 20 years, even though the industry stopped, but it was easy because everything slowed down. So it wasn't like cold turkey for me, but I still was probably more active than the industry was.
Yo,
because I still was doing it.
Very much so. Okay. That Clubhouse, okay.
I was about to say, because he's missed the Clubhouse.
He was on Clubhouse. I remember when you first started, and I was like, okay, he's on here now, which I knew you would be, because you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, this is a poppin' app. Like, it's only right. And then it's so cool to see how you built yourself up, you know, and it's dedication too.
Right.
Because he would be
in the morning, in the afternoon, in the afternoon, and then nighttime to wrap up
and
everything
in the
they talk about.
into the morning.
Midnight. About 5 times.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I respect.
Yeah, because I'll tell y'all something about Clubhouse and the Matrix Studios. The way that I see it, the same way that I see Clubhouse is like you got the stage, right? So the stage would be equivalent to the table that I built with the TV on it, with the microphones on it. That was the stage. And then whoever was the host or the moderators that used to rent studio time for me. And then the audience would be wherever we're streaming out to or whoever was in the studio. So that's the way I see Clubhouse. Like I see it like that because it's the same process. It's just I don't have to leave and go to a studio now. I could create the same energy without leaving and without going to the studio. So Clubhouse really is like an extension of the Matrix. So when I see people on Clubhouse and talking about their creators and content creators, and I see them just making controversial rooms, I'm like, anybody can do that. Like I could come up with a clickbait story and have 1,000 people standing here all day talking about COVID. I could do that if I wanted to do that, but that's no fun. So I'd rather talk about other things. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic. Or another
You're sticking to your why though. You're sticking to your purpose and what gathers you.
And I feel like the same vibe that people get in my room on Clubhouse is the same vibe they used to tell me when they come to the studio. They just celebrities or whoever used to come in there and be like, yo, it feels so like home when you come here. It feels like welcoming. And because I never kept no drama in there, no arguments. I always kept good-looking people, good-looking women, good-looking dudes. You know, people with purpose.
You don't want no ugly. You don't want no uglies in there. I get it.
No, I can say that for definitely because when I went to your networking events, I definitely tapped in with people who, you know, normally I wouldn't have, you know what I mean, ever experienced. And also he also hosted my Clubhouse in my Clubhouse segment for my EP.
Oh,
that was fun, right?
Yeah, that was cool because you had a different audience, you know, listening and giving me feedback.
Yes.
And it's cool to hear, you know, like you're in a space where you're a creator and other people can, you know, give their feedback on it. And it's not like, this was absolute garbage. You know what I mean? And if it wasn't good, you know, they're more inviting and you know they let you know what's
they actually gave you constructive
constructive criticism. Like it was cool. It was different conversation, which I loved it. I was like, okay, D-Dub.
And that was then. If I was to do something like that now with the audience that I have, because now I got the club, the What New York Sounds Like club, and it's a bunch of cool people that's there every day. It's like, you know, like 30 to 40 people of our own people, and then the audience comes in based on the topic. And we could definitely we're starting to do music rooms now again, so we definitely got to revisit that on your next project.
Yes, yeah. Well, listen, we going definitely chop.
And even with Mezzy too. Me and Mezzy was trying to do the what we were doing the Mezzy.
I was, but then they hit me up. That was my fault because I was doing a segment for the Matrix Studios, and it was going really well. Then did it hit me up and was like, nah, but you got to do this and you got to incorporate it in this.
You know,
we gonna be back.
I'm back. I do a live radio show on Clubhouse every day, Monday through Friday. And it's with audio and everything. So now if I had it, I have an audience that actually are listening live and it's recorded. Now that they got the replays on, so now the podcast is recorded every day and I can just put it out after that and we can share it. So
Wait, so what would you tell anyone who's aspiring, you know, because I'm sure that you are a person that anyone could look up to, you know what I mean? Like you're very relatable, very personable. So what advice would you give to any viewer out there who may be lost in their direction or trying to find something,
find a path in
the
entertainment industry?
Yeah, in the entertainment industry and the producing, you know, all that stuff. What would you say?
I got some gems that people told me. So I'll start with the best one that I've got is always do what comes to you easy first. Like do whatever comes to you natural, work on that first. Because then you could start learning how to make money or at least building your passion off of that. And then you go, let's just say you're a woman that likes to do hair, but you can also do nails, but you can also do makeup. but you love doing hair easy, then do the hair first, like that, and everything else will follow behind that. And that's just an analogy I'm using, because some people will try to do everything, but they don't really like doing nails, but they're gonna force themselves to do it. But now you like because now if you get good at that, but you don't like doing it, now you stuck doing something you really don't like doing. See what I'm saying? Yeah. And a lot of people get stuck in careers and jobs that they don't really like doing for the money. And it's no fun just working for the money when you don't know passion is not there. Right. I promise you. The only reason why I made it to these 21 years is because every day I wake up and I know what I'm doing already because I created what I'm doing. So if somebody had to come and tell me what I should be doing, I probably wouldn't want to do it no more. Because it's not what I naturally want to do.
Mm-hmm. So what would be the next step, like for the next closest step for you? What do you see that in the future for yourself?
Traveling and having a mini Matrix studio in every town that I go to, just creating that experience everywhere I go. I'm so mobile right now that it's gonna work out just like that. That was always been a plan, like maybe to buy one of those attachments that go on the back of a pickup truck, and then you could just drive it around and then go sleep in the back, or in the back I can put a little table and pull up to a town and do an interview in there with the local artists or whatever. Let them perform for the camera wherever their backdrop is, and then keep it moving. Just keep the tour going.
Roll with it.
Wow. And it's like 21 years in, and I feel like your hustle is still the same. Your work ethic is still, like, a lot of people lose that. How do you even keep that? How do you keep that spark going? Because that's another thing. In entertainment, there's nobody pushing you but yourself. There's unless you're in entertainment, you won't get it. You're the one person that at the end of the day, you could have all these managers behind you saying, yo, you gotta do this, you gotta do this. If you decide you don't want to wake up that day, you're not What is it that keeps you motivated?
I think the fact of how I affect people, like I feel like I have a purpose. Like if no one was checking for me, then I probably would do something else. I'm like, I ain't nobody checking DWI. But the moment that I speak to somebody, or I'm walking the streets and somebody be like, yo, you still doing radio or whatever. Once I hear that, like, then I realize so they still know what I'm doing and they still want to know if I'm still doing it. So that's what keeps me going, because I know what I created. I was ahead of my time when I did it. With webcams and all that came out, like people are just using Zoom now. I've been on this since 05. Actually, did a 05, 04, 05. I've been using the visual and audio online.
Zoom was around in 2005.
No, it wasn't no Zoom.
It came out in 2020.
I didn't hear about Zoom really until.
It wasn't no Zoom. It wasn't called Zoom. That's what I'm just saying. It was what I created. It's called Radio Vision. I mean, it was different. It was different things. They was using webcams, AIM, Messenger, like it was different things, but I just made it into a platform. All of the stuff you see now, Joe Buttons and Math and all these guys online doing their podcasts, we interviewed them so much that they're doing it. Like, so quietly, I definitely inspired a whole platform, the whole revolution of podcasting in New York City. Probably the world. If it started in New York City and people seen it from there, then most likely they got pages from my book. Not all, but they got something from me.
They got influence.
Is there a team that's been working with you, holding it down with you, creating with you in this past 21 years? Like,
oh man, I have a section. I got Mocha Marie, I got Jay Ditta, I got my man Jay Rim, I got my man Draft, who's an engineer. I don't want to get to start naming too much names, because then I'm gonna forget people and they're gonna be like, yo, how come you ain't say my name, son? But what I will say is I've had some good runs, some good eras. I've seen people like a Ty Boogie. Now he's working with Angie Martinez. He used to do Fat Boy Radio with DJ SNS and Ty Boogie. My man DWI, Demetrius, he's out in London now. Like, he started with me and we did so much work together. We used to do VCH, mini DV cameras to record, and you have to record the video, and then you have to dump it in the computer, you have to edit it, then you have to put it on a CD, and then like it was the processes that we used to have to do made us, who we are right now.
Right. That's why they can't break you, because if you building the foundation and you know that the engineer, everything, that's why it's so great to be an engineer, because first of all, you'll always get paid. Because I feel like everyone's always going to need someone who, has that service, so it's definitely a great thing to be, man. And I'm so appreciative for you coming on this show today and dropping them gems let
now
us
you know the
more
man
about
behind
you.
DaMatrix Studios.
Facts. And really this interview just shows you like you work hard for what you get and you get to where you need to be. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate. And that's what people don't understand.
oh, that right.
I'm writing that one down. I'm writing that one down for real. I'm writing it down.
You don't get what you deserve.
Y'all stupid, yo.
That's valid.
I
That's
wrote it down.
valid. Listen, tell the people where they can find you, all the social medias, all that good stuff.
All right, all the social medias is definitely DWIMUZIK or DaMatrix Studio without an S because somebody hacked that one with the S a few years ago. The website is dsmbx.online, just like that, dsmbx.online. And same thing on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Facebook is Damien, DWI Music Williams. And Clubhouse, same thing. DWI Music or DaMatrix Studio. So everything is on brand. You can find that DSN anyway, and make sure you know that, like, you know, the Matrix movie is coming out and we riding that whole wave. So
hell yeah, we in the Matrix right now.
And exactly.
Listen,
them tours though, we need to talk about that because I want to do that thing right there.
Okay,
right
baby, I'm picking up what you dropping, baby. I'm
trying to be right there. What happened to say? Oh, but you know, we're
Listen.
gonna talk on the side. We're gonna talk outside. We appreciate you so much for coming on here and talking with us today for real. Make sure you guys tap in with DWI, okay? All right.
Peace, y'all.
Deuces.
Peace.
You the only one I risk it all with. Got me feeling so brand new. He don't get me like you get me. Guess I'm too much to handle. I'm going all in for your love. Without it, I'd be in shambles. I swear my love life is scandal. Cause you take my body high. I'd risk it all tonight. Got me on this roller coaster with you and my man on mine. Cause baby, you know what to do and you know everything I like. I know you're tired of the back and forth. We only got a few minutes.
Welcome back to the Journey Podcast Show, y'all. Listen, recap.
You know
we
what?
always got to do the recap.
You know, I think we should change the show name to the Gem Show because we always give it.
Get in the gems, getting the.
We just be throwing it at you.
The salt.
I'm just saying.
I don't think y'all be ready for it.
I
though.
don't think so.
I don't be ready half of the time.
I know, right? I'll be like, I'm thinking I'm ready, but I'm not ready.
They be surprising me. You know, I'll be like.
But what other podcasts do you even get all these gems from? You know what I'm saying?
The Journey.
Hello.
That's where you go to get the essential vibes of your girl and your girl. That's it. Period. Point blank, y'all. If y'all want to see more of us, do more of this.
Oh,
do more of this. Subscribe now.
Period.
Journey Podcast Show. Follow us on Instagram, Journey Podcast Show. Leave us some feedback, like, comment, share. We would like to know what you guys think. If you have any questions, you can always ask us. All right. So we're gonna catch up with y'all again.
Yes.
And again.
And we're gonna have some good guests coming up. So don't worry.
Way more flavor. You already know the vibes. All right, y'all. Later.